So a man is discussing the newspaper with his daughter. And he says, you know, every time I'm looking at the newspaper, he said, statistics are saying that too much drinking is not good for you, and smoking is wrong, and too much sex is not good for you either. She kind of leans in and he says, so I've decided to stop reading the paper. You know, I enjoy being part of this 7-week program, and we've been doing it every year for many years because it brings us into a place, I feel, of alignment, because we're somewhat staying with the same subject long enough, past 21 days or 30 days, so we can look at some of our habits and some of our behaviors and some of our belief systems that continue to produce things in our lives that perhaps we may not want. Have you had anything this past week that you've spoken of in your life that you don't want it? There you go. So we're all in the right place. That's very good. That's very poignant and right on point. Carl Jung would say very clearly that until we are conscious of what is driving us unconsciously, we will continue to call the mediocrity in our lives fate. You want that back at you? Yes. Until we are conscious of what is unconsciously driving the mediocrity in our lives, we will continue to have these mediocre experiences and call them fate. You see, big breath on that, right? And so there becomes this awareness then of everything is in our lives because we have agreed to have it. Shall we together? Everything is in our lives because we have agreed to have it. The only people that are hurting me are people that I allow to hurt me. This is a self-responsible, spiritually motivated experience that we call life. And here, with grown-ups, all of us, we do grown-up things, like we literally teach that we are responsible for creating our own life experience, that we have a choice. And that's not easy for people that have lived in cultures or environments that have been told all their lives, just go blame something or someone else. Just go blame someone or something else. We may not have been responsible for what happened to us, of course, but we are responsible to what we do with it after that. We are responsible to if it grows us, or if we start a movement because of it, or if we allow ourselves to be moved because of it. It's not here to take away our lives. It's here to bring more life throughout us, in us, and inside of us, and all around us. Everything that has happened to you is so more of you will reveal itself. And until that is fundamental in our thinking, we will always have another core level of that it's about something or someone else. And it is not only diminishing, but it is disempowering. When something shows up in my life, and I assure you that things do, and I go, where did you come from? You know, whatever this something is, actually I go, where did you come from? I need to go back to my inner room. I need to go back to prayer. I need to go back to grounding. I need to get myself out in nature. I need to reassess the situation. Somewhere I have opened my gate too far, and this stuff has started to come in, and I don't want it living here, you know? And so it's like, you don't want to over-mentalize it. You don't want to over-mentalize it. You know, my teacher always taught me, you can spend your whole life trying to figure out why you have a headache. Just, okay, you have a headache, fix it. You see. Yeah, I know, it's okay to laugh. We're in church, so that's fun. Okay, so in that space, the story that's told in The Art of Abundance is about a man that's thinking of relocating in a new township. And so he goes up to this guy and he says, what's it like here? Are people prosperous, and are they, in a good space? They have a good frame of mind, and are they proactive? And he went, well, what were the people like where you lived? And he went, they were negative, they were greedy, they were ridiculous. They were always competing with each other, always one-upping one another. And he went, well, that's the way they are here. That's the way they are here. So then another man comes up to that same guy and he says, what's the people like here? I've been thinking about relocating. What are they like here? And he says, well, what were they like where you were? And he went, well, they had high energy. They were very prosperous. I think they all went to Unity, I think. Very upbeat and had a great way of living. It's something about him was just very engaging. And he went, well, you definitely want to move here. You definitely want to move here because that's the way it will be for you. We take ourselves wherever we go. I think we have a great slide for that. Thank you, Kurt. All right, let's read that together, shall we? Wherever you go, there you are. Whatever we think, act, believe in, feel, visualize, vision, image, read, and talk about is going into the subjective state of our thought. Whatever goes into the subjective state of our thought tends to return again as some condition. So we alone control our destiny. And so we assess the situation, and so we reflect in that energetic presence. We look at, where is my energy going and why is it going there? What am I invested in? What am I engaged in? Where am I in a given day giving my intention to? Because to have the best of intentions is really wonderful, but when your intentions do not align with what you are attentive about, and your belief is an entirely different opposite direction, then we're not going to be able to produce the results that we are seeking. Please don't ask me to say that again. I don't think I could. But it lines up, and you become literally of your own mind and your own heart, a gatekeeper that's quite particular about what you let in, that's quite particular about what you talk about what you entertain, the stories that gather around, because that continues to produce and reproduce. And sometimes people will say to me, if I feel that it's safe and I can call them on something. And by the way, you can always call me on something, okay? I mean, I'm an advocate for growing, so you can always call me on something. But when I see somebody's genuinely interested in changing their lives, and they're not looking for a little quick fix, but they realize you've got to invest in yourself because that's the greatest investment you'll ever have in your life, then I tell people, I say, the language you're using is what is continuing to reproduce that same issue over and over and over again in your life. Because the universe, when they tell me, oh, I was just kidding, and I went, the universe doesn't get you're kidding. Have you seen an orange tree grow through laughter of an orange seed? That's another talk. I know I lost you on that one. I know, I'm not taking any special oils or anything, I guarantee you. Okay. Anyway, back to subject. It's engaging, and I get to see that you're paying attention. There's a scripture that is Hebrews 10, 16 and 17, and it says very clearly, thus saith the Lord, thus saith the law. Here we use those words interchangeably, yes? So, thus saith the Lord, I have written it upon the law, upon their minds, and I have placed that same writing in their hearts. And then it goes on to say, and all sin and any false behavior I have erased, I have let go. Now, what does that mean in unity? Because we use the original idea of sin, which means miss the mark. What is it saying? Why are people falling short of what they ought to be designed to just simply accomplish? It's because underneath, people hold on to some kind of either race consciousness that says you are not worthy of it, or you're not deserving of it, or you did something when you were 12 and you're still paying the price for it. There's some kind of belief in there, but if you believe Scripture at all, or you believe your favorite ones, then you can believe that it says all of that has been erased. So therefore, anything that is holding us back is literally an individual belief that we can be held back. Right? And so if you feel in any way that something isn't happening in your life the way that you wanted it to happen, you want to go look in the mirror and ask yourself, why do you not believe you are capable of it happening to you? Because there isn't anything that is in the way. The law doesn't require something to happen before in order for it to happen to you. You literally could be an original concept if you're willing to step into it. Well, I find that exciting. What can I say? All right. But it is likened to the photocopy machine that we have. You know, you can take a blurred sheet of paper to the photocopy machine and you can ask it to produce 100 copies. And it doesn't do a Siri voice and say, I don't understand, are you sure you want it copied? No, it doesn't. It just reproduces the blur, doesn't it? And you get 100 copies of that, right? You can go on the copy machine and you can have written on a Word doc, you could write, I am beautiful, I am handsome, I am capable, I am magnetic, I am attracting the highest and best people in my life. I am abundant. I have CDs and I have investments and I own properties throughout the world and I travel and I have someone that I'm just as in love with today as I was 20, 30, 40 years ago. They're not wearing me out. They're not wearing me down. They're actually a blessing in my life, and the photocopy machine will produce 100 of those. Right? But the next day, you can take to that same location, to that same photocopy machine, to that same moment, and you can place on there another Word doc from your own consciousness that says, I am unworthy. I am weary about the conditions of the world. I don't know what we're going to do. Oh my goodness. Oh my. This, that, and the other. And I just don't have the energy that I used to, and it's my age. And it's because, in the third grade, this thing happened to me, and I'm 84 now, but in the third grade, this happened to me. And that photocopy machine will produce. And it will produce as many copies as you want. It won't blow up. It won't go, why, how did you change your mind? Where are you? It won't. And that's why we laugh about it. We have fun with it. I laugh about it. But that's why it's so important. When you're working in the field of proven science by thought and heart, you want to be aware that you are more responsible than most people you're ever going to meet in your life, because you know that you are accountable for those unnecessary thoughts that you have been allowing to come through your mind. Yes. And that's part of this science. It's about that it proves itself regardless of what day you choose to participate in it. I kept hearing everybody talk about the scandal and the TV thing, the scandal. And I was like, God, there's somebody talking about the scandal, and on news feed, on Facebook, it's like, wow, what a night for scandal. And, my curiosity just really piqued. I'm like, what is this, the scandal? So I was in a hotel one night and I thought, well, I'm out of town, to heck. So I pull up Netflix and I turn on one of these scandal episodes. Well, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, oh my gosh, people are really captivated by that. And I went, whoa, my palms are sweaty, and I'm just like, oh my God. So, woo! So anyway, I thought, ooh, I better go get some ice at the ice machine just to kind of cool myself down. What's going on here? Whoa! So anyway, I go to the ice machine, and I'm getting the ice, and all of a sudden I'm aware like there's this guy out there in the hall. And I'm just aware, and I'm doing my ice, he's still there, and I'm aware. And so I just walk with my ice. Well, he's walking with me, and so I start walking faster. Well, he's walking faster, and I go, and he goes, ma'am, are you okay? And I said, I was watching Scandal. I mean, I thought he was going to follow me back to my room, And he said, that's probably not a good show for you to be watching. And I went, thank you so much for that. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. We have a video that I think kind of sums this up. Table. So many people now say that life is working against them and not working for them. And when people say that, Mark, you know what I know?
What?
Is that they haven't learned to work with life. That's the big issue.
Can you explain that?
It's just like a navigation system in your car. I don't know about you, but I've been in the automobile with somebody that enters in an address going a place they don't know where they're going, and they're determined not to listen to the navigation system. You can't hold the navigation system accountable if you're not listening to what it says. Don't let your life go by waiting to turn yourself around. Life is not about not having problems. It's about how you walk through your problems that make you have a life. Everyone in this room, we could all throw our problems in the floor. I guarantee you we would all rush to get our own back. Why? Because our problems are our friends, and they help make us fully alive and vibrant and dynamic. They're not here to be against us. Thank you for coming. Thank you for calling. Everybody stand. We're going to do just a sacred moment. Put your hands on your heart. Put one hand on your mind. I now align with absolutely who I am. I believe it with every cell and fiber of my being. I am energized by myself. I am excited about what is possible. I feel the deep love welling within me. And so it is. And welling in South Carolina is a word. Bless you. Thank you.